Learning and understanding the Valorant economy and coordinating with your team to maximize your money efficiently provides you the best chance to win the game. This is obvious, but you've probably faced a scenario where your team forces or half-buys round after round, which results in your team losing continuously. Or the situation when you win a round and then lose the next one, which means your team is broke once again. There are also times when most of your team buys, but one person decides to eco, which results in an unbalanced economy. And this becomes the most frustrating when you try and grind in solo queue and coordination with your team is lackluster. And now with the operator nerf, where the op now costs 5,000 instead of 4,500, what is the best way to handle your money? You start each half with 800 credits and the max credit line is 9,000. Winning a round nets you 3,000 credits and a loss grants you only 1,900. You gain an additional 500 credits for every loss after the first one, and this loss bonus stacks up to 2 times, which means that after 2 losses, you get 2,400 credits, and after 3 losses in a row, you get an additional 1,000, which equates to 2,900 credits. Based on this information, the general rule of thumb is to try and have 2,000 credits as you end the buy phase. This is because you have at least 3,900 for the next round, which will let you buy full armor and a Phantom or Phantom. As long as you remember this baseline of 2,000 credits, you can also decide if you want to save a little bit more for abilities. This is also very useful to know in terms of half buy or eco rounds. If your team is ecoing and you have more than 3,000 credits, you should buy some light armor or an inexpensive gun like the Stinger or Sheriff, which gives your team the potential to disrupt the enemy team's economy. It is also important to keep track of who stayed alive in the last round and what guns they have. A lot of times you'll see that both teams are hovering around 3k credits, which means that the enemy team will be mostly on mid-tier weapons or light armor. From there, you can decide if you want to force buy to try and win the round to gain momentum, or half buy to do even further damage to their economy, ensuring that the enemy will have a weak buy again for the next round and your team can do a full buy. On a side note, in the solo queue environment where no one communicates or communication is minimal, I like to buy towards the last 5 seconds after seeing what my team buys. The increased credit cost for the operator has altered the flow of the game drastically. Even at max credits of 9,000, if you buy the operator in full armor and lose the round, you will not have enough for another operator. You are left at a maximum of 4,900 credits, which means you can't buy another operator unless you got at least 1 kill or your team planted the spike. In my opinion, it is always advantageous to buy yourself and a teammate a weapon rather than buying the operator, unless you're playing with Wardell. The hardest part about handling your economy is dependent on what agent you decide to play. From personal experience, ciphers, tripwires, and cages tend to add up really fast, especially if you don't grab them before the end of the round. I also started playing Breach more, and his flashes also can be very expensive if you decide to use them every round. But then again, don't take this in a bad way. It is always better to use your ability to help win the round rather than saving it. And finally, don't buy out of frustration or anger after losing. This is known as tilt buying and will cause you to lose the game. Even though you get 2,900 credits per loss at this point, you won't be able to afford good weapons or full utility every round, which can lead you to losing some arrows. To recap, always try to maintain a credit balance of 2,000 heading into the next round. Of course, this is not always possible. And for every round you win, you get 3,000 credits. And for every round you lose, you get 1,900, 2,400, and then 2,900 for consecutive losses. Always keep track of the enemies that lived and what gun they had. Don't tilt buy ever. Play smart and use your money wisely. And finally, buying yourself and your teammate a gun will usually always be better than buying the operator. Thanks for watching.